Good morning. I'd like to ask this question, and you can take it in consideration to ponder, and that is, who are you most dedicated to? Where does your loyalty lies? Is it in man, or is it to God? Looking over my life over the years, and just considering some things that I've had to um, go through. Everybody goes through something, and everybody got a story. Everybody has history. History is his story, your story, her story, their story. Everyone has something that they can contribute that could be an encouragement to someone else, as well as encourage yourself. Because as you try to encourage others, you also get encouraged by sharing experiences. Now, I was thinking like the things that I've encountered over the years, and some of it don't make no sense, and I know you all can relate to that. And but I've always dealt with a lot of rejection, a lot of just being lied on. Um, and one day, the Lord says to me, there are many that question themselves as to why they do that, because they don't find that you did anything to them, but you've been kind to them. And many have questioned themselves as to why do they act like that, or why they feel like that towards you, when really you haven't did anything but been kind to them. So, but what I realize is that people are more followers than leaders. Uh, People that like to be accepted will allow themselves to be manipulated, and people that want to take over your will, over your mind, over your emotion, uh, would love to lead you and manipulate you. And when you no longer follow their ways, or refuses to follow their ways, then you are considered as an enemy. And everyone that person has influence with, they use their influence to make them to feel by you the way they're feeling by you. And actually the reason they feel the way they feel by you is because they realize that you think for yourself. And that intimidates them, but they won't say it intimidates them. But because they're used to getting their way, they'll become angry with you, and then they'll just start to fault find little things. But you know what I realized? People have taught themselves to believe their own lie, and their lie becomes their truth, and their truth becomes a tradition, and their tradition handed on down becomes a curse, because you have many people operating family. Let's say family. Let's bring it to family, because friends and let's just say family. That's more personal. Um, they're operating on a generation of curses without even thinking of it in that way. Here's an example. Me as a mother. You know how powerful a position that is? That is a very powerful position. A mother sets the tone to the whole house atmosphere. If the mother ain't happy, the whole atmosphere in the house is tore up. So a godly mother would set it in a godly manner, peaceful way. But a mother that's not only want to control the children, want to control the daddy, want to control everything, you become very headstrong. And if you don't do things according to the way, or accept or join on, then you'll become the child that's isolated. You'll become the child that's lied on. You'll become the child that just can't stand her or can't stand him, but without really any true explanation. So they'll start bringing up things. But one thing I've learned, that anytime you're around people that's been chewing you up to someone else, and then when they're around that person and you're there, then they act like they like you. A person that's a thinker would remember what that person has been saying about that individual. All the ugly things, negativity things, and see them acting like they like that person, that's what should come to their mind. They're acting. So if they're acting like they like that person, then that person hasn't done anything. Because when a person has did something to you, you don't have to act like it because you've been offended and you show it. But the mere fact that the person is acting like they like you tells me that they've been lying on the person. And so the person hasn't did anything to them, so they have to act like they like that person to that person when they're around that person because of what they've been saying about that person. People won't think. People want others to take their mind many times because they want to fit in. But how many people just refuse that? Just say, you know what? Hey, I hear what you're saying, and I understand your complaint and see where you're coming from. Okay, well, hopefully y'all can, work it out. But be neutral. And still the person that's telling you, you hear them, treat them right. And the one they're talking about that they have a disagreement with, you still treat them right. Because why should you jump in there and start, it's the craziest thing. I mean, through the years, that thing, that bothered me. It's like, how can this person just jump on board? And when they're around that person, they're dragged when they want to trying to speak to you because they don't let the other person poison their mind, or they'll pretend they don't see you, or pretend that y'all don't have nothing much in common. I'm like, what is that? Because they surrender their will. So about 10 years ago, one night, that thought had been coming to my mind back and forth. And then I read in Proverbs where the Bible, it says this. Because I used to say, now this person, I know this person loves the Lord. They say they love the Lord, and it's not for me to say otherwise. But why is it that they seem to be flip-flopping? You're not saying they love you. Why is that? Because it's not for me to say they don't. And I know people have things that they need to improve on all the time. We all do. But I find it so much. And especially with the ones that say they love the Lord. Well, in the book of Proverbs, I'll have to get the scripture, so I'll let it flash up here. But I want to say it's in 16, but I won't let that be it for sure. I'll get it because I didn't plan to record this. It's just like on the spot. But anyway, it says that an evil heart, you hear that, will give their ear to a lie. And I thought, whoa, that's what I've been trying to understand all these years. So, in order for the person heart receive it, because they change it, anytime something get in your heart, it changes your personality. It don't just go in the ear, it go into the heart, because the person begin to be different. So, then it's the matter of the heart. And that's why the grounds are fertile to accept a lie, because the heart is evil. It's an evil thing. And it's like, many people are on their way to hell. They say they love the Lord, love everybody, speaking in different tongues, cutting you up with the other. Many Christians are assassinators. They are assassinators. They assassinate another Christian's character. That's murder. But they have to deal with God on that, because what they do by attacking your character, it eliminates your chances of reaching someone that may have been assigned to you. Now they messing with your assignment. So now they have to deal with God, because what God has called us to do, we must do. But people would attack your character to keep someone else from hearing you. Those are workers of iniquities. Those are workers of Satan, with the name Christian, with the name love the Lord. And they're right here doing his business, assassinating another Christian and all the souls that's attached to that child of God that has to be reached by that individual that has been assigned to him. So, and I was thinking like, wow. So I see people are really more loyal to each other more than they are to God, because they just jump on board. I'm like, what is that? How could they do that? But let me tell you something, and I'm speaking to the mothers. Mothers, listen. If it's someone you don't like, and you had a disagreement with, okay, just speak the truth. And don't talk about it over and over. And then, and let it be something that you need to deal with and get over. But don't use your position and mess up everybody's heart in the house. Now you gave them your struggles. They're already going to have their struggles as they go through life. They will have their struggles. But you gave them years of your struggle, of your bondage, baggage, that now that child has to try to deal with. And now they don't know how to let it go, because if they do otherwise, then they feel like they're going against you and they don't want to hurt you. So they would treat an innocent person some kind of way. And then they'll begin to say they don't like the person. I don't know. It's just something about it. I don't know. Yeah, what is it? It's something about your spirit. What's in your spirit? You need to check your spirit. You see what I'm saying? So, but they carry it on. So then they'll pass it on, and their children to hear how they talk. They hear these little kids not even liking grown-ups. They ain't lived long enough to have any history. But because parents, a mother, I would say, I'm speaking on mother, have poisoned their hearts. Such an injustice. When she should be winning his soul, she's sending them to hell in the name of being a good mother. Mother, don't do that to your kids. Kids that are now, especially grown, I'm talking to the grown-up kids. The little kids, you have to fix that now while you can. But the grown-up, we got grown people that got children, grown-ups that are now grandparents. They're still around here, got that hatred running on through their generation. They children don't like it. And now they children don't like it because they don't deal with it. But no one can really give an answer as to what the person has done. A thinker would want to ask questions. What did the person do? And listen to it. I don't care if it's mama. If she ain't speaking the truth, you still love her. You still respect her. You don't try to tear her down. But you better make your own decision. Because your loyalty is supposed to be to God. And those that has been born again are your brothers, or your sister, or your mother and your father. So the question is, why do that? But one thing I will tell you, if you don't do it, if you don't come on board, then a person that's a control freak will make everybody in the family dislike you. And all of them that just jump on board fall right up under the generational curse. But here's the thing. Now, they'll jump on board for hatred. But when a mother try to teach them about the Lord and whatnot, their holler don't have time. They want to do something. They got something to do. They don't have time for that. But boy, they sit in and they'll suck up that negativity. Why is that? Because an evil heart will give their ears to a lie. I'm telling you. And if you take a stand, you'll be the one that will be rejected. You'll be rejected. Listen. This came to mind because I was thinking a couple of days ago, with this type of thing, with the how people can hate or just slander you, and no matter how much you love them and show them kindness, and over the years, they still got that in them, and they can contaminate everybody that comes into the family, act just like them. Now that's you give someone permission to come into your family and to hate another family member. That's weak on your part, very weak. But I will say this. Okay, now, I will say this, that I've always asked God that I want to love people. And I've always enjoyed people. I mean, I always just enjoy them. And I said, I can't see why I'm supposed to not like you, but if you did something to me, okay. But then still, when you're serving God, you don't have permission to do that. You haven't been given permission to do that. The Bible says, we owe the person to love them. So, but anyway, so then I realized, like, oh my gosh, I've always asked God to help me to love people, to see them through His eyes and treat people right, no matter what anyone else say or think. Now, I've always said that, but then it just dawned on me. Don't you know whatever you are called to, whatever way God, the way that God used you, you want to be used in showing people love. Don't you know you got to be tried? And how is that? You're going to be hated without a cause. You're going to be rejected. But Mary, you say you want to love people. Yeah, you want to love them. Well, then it's easy to love people that's nice to you. But you ain't doing nothing big if you can't love people that don't like you and that hate you without a cause. See, it takes more power to forgive than it does to hold a grudge. Anyone can hold a grudge. It doesn't take much effort. But it takes strength and the power of God to allow you to love someone that hasn't been lovely to you. Now you're growing. So I said to myself, as long as you want to walk in love and just treat people the way they're supposed to be treated and the way you want to be treated, you know what? They're not going to always love you. They're not going to always treat you right. They're going to lie on you without a cause. Then that's when you're supposed to rejoice. You're supposed to rejoice when people lie on you and dislike you for no reason. Don't get sad. But listen, they don't just that. You don't come to this understanding of this place overnight. There's some wrestling that goes on. But you know what? When you look at all of it, so the thing I live by is that I look at the person that's treating me some kind of way, and I say to myself, now listen, now I may be treating everybody else right, but if I let you cause me to hate you and, get upset and tired of the way you feel towards me and lying on me and you got it just going on through the family, then I've given you power over my entire destiny. Meaning, I will cause you to send me to hell because I'm offended because you hate me and then I jump on board. No, no. Just that thought alone, like, nope, nope, that's not going to happen. I'm going to love the hell out of you. The hell that's in you, I'm going to love the hell out of you. Even if you go to hell, I ain't going with you. I'm going to walk up right before God and love people and not jump on board and be a puppet, manipulator. Because when people can't control you, they would despise you. They have to think of something. They have to nitpick for something that they can put on you. And remember, the person that lied on you, when they get around that person should think, why is this person acting like they're okay after they said all this stuff about their person? Then you should begin to question that person. Because I'm going to tell you something. One thing they don't want you to get too close to the person, because then it'll show them up. It'll show that they've been lying on this person all along. So they have to keep things going. Keep it going. And then the person allow themselves to be going because why? I communicate with you more, so, I'm loyal to you. Forget that stuff. Live your life to please God and do what's right. And have your own struggles. Don't let nobody else give you their struggles. And don't give your mind over to someone else. Because if you're giving your mind over, you're giving your thoughts, your emotion over to someone else because you act in the way they want you to act. You giving them to your mind. They got their minds and yours. So what that leave you? Empty. No brainer. You understand?